Hi, I'm Carla Ng with First Team Real Estate. Today we have...
I'm Kim Terrell with Farmers Insurance.
Maybe you owned your home for a while now, are on your second home, or perhaps you're new to owning a home. Whatever your situation is, there are things about homeowner insurance that you probably have questions about, or maybe not know at all. So, homeowners insurance is one of the broadest types of risk coverage you can buy. In general, it covers the roof over your head, the shirt on your back, and yes, even the kitchen sink. Homeowners insurance also protects you, your family members, and your pets, and if someone is hurt at your property. But most people don't have any idea what's covered in their homeowners insurance policy, and maybe even importantly, what's not covered. So knowing what kind of protection you have and understanding how it protects you is a smart move as a homeowner. So today I'm here to interview Kim Terrell, a local farmers insurance agent, about homeowners insurance, so you can clear up any confusion and ensure that you have the proper coverage in place. So thanks for being here today. Really appreciate your time. So first off, at a minimum, what damage does homeowners insurance usually cover?
So the main thing to know with homeowners insurance is that it covers sudden and accidental. That's a terminology we use with almost all of our claims. That's going to be things like fire, lightning, smoke, wind and hail damage, explosions, if a plane crashes into your house, if a car drives into your home, falling objects, if a tree falls on your roof, and then certain types of water claims that fall within that sudden and accidental spectrum. So that is it in kind of a nutshell. It's a ton of other stuff, but to sum it all up, that would be the main things that are covered under a homeowner's insurance policy.
Nice. So basically, accidents you never would want to happen to you and your family.
Ever.
Yeah. So let's try to prevent these nightmares with getting a good homeowner's insurance policy. And as we both know, living in California, earthquakes are really common and a big thing here. So is earthquake insurance covered in the policy?
That is a really good question, and it is not. So earthquakes and floods are huge in California. So earthquake insurance and flood insurance are done on a separate policy or typically added with an endorsement on a homeowner's insurance policy. I would even go out on a limb to say maybe 5% of people in California actually carry earthquake and flood insurance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
So not very common. And then a lot of buyers ask me if homeowners insurance is required when purchasing a home. So can you help us clarify that?
So homeowners insurance is required when purchasing a home if you have a loan on the home. So if you are taking out a loan and have a mortgage company, they do require it. If you're paying all cash, it's not required, but I would highly recommend it personally.
Okay, got it. And let's just say I open escrow. So when should I start getting my homeowner's insurance quotes or policies?
Another great question. I would say within the first 3 days of opening escrow. So much like the inspection, somebody's coming in to kind of just look for any red flags in the house. Homeowners insurance is doing the same thing. So we want to find out if any claims have been filed on the home within the last 5 years.
Okay.
So all insurance companies run a loss history report that just goes over the history of the house and any claims. I think that's great information to have, especially before inspection, because you can give that information to the inspector and they can kind of look at the house with a different set of eyes if they know there's been, let's say, multiple water claims on a property.
Got it. So you look at the history. But let's say there's a new construction home. What do you do then?
So more than likely, if it's a new construction, there wouldn't be any history on it or any claims. It'll automatically pull up the loss history, but it would just show that nothing's been filed in the last 5 years.
Okay, got it. And I know a lot of people shop around for different quotes, just like they do with interest rates and mortgage lenders. So are the homeowners insurance quotes the same or different?
I would say like 5 to 10 years ago, they probably were very close to being the same. We didn't see this big drastic difference. Homeowners insurance is the least profitable form of insurance. So what I've noticed over the last like 5 to 10 years is there's a lot more endorsements you can add to a homeowner's insurance policy. So if you're dealing with an agent or a company that's quoting more basic policies, you might be missing out on a lot of extra endorsements, as opposed to if you have a personal agent and they're really concerned about all those little extras, you would have a quote that has all of that stuff, and that can really completely change a premium from policy to policy. So always a good idea to really go through line by line and look at everything on a policy.
Especially looking at the deductible amounts.
100%.
Awesome. And since I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, what's the biggest mistake that you're seeing first-time home buyers make when getting a quote or picking a policy?
Well, as you know, that process, right, when you open escrow, it's a lot of information for a lot of, especially first-time home buyers. So what happens is you're doing the inspection, you're doing an appraisal, and then all of a sudden you're a week, 2 weeks into escrow, and now you have to have a homeowner's insurance quote. So the biggest mistake I see is people waiting the last minute and then picking a policy off of price. So they aren't taking the advice from the previous question and really like going line by line. They're just looking at the annual premium. And the worst thing you can do is do that, because you could be missing an endorsement that, let's say, is $25 a year, and now you have a claim that's going to cost you $10,000 only to find out you don't have the right coverage for it. So not waiting until the last minute, and again, just going through every line to make sure you know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm. And just being prepared and looking at the policies thoroughly, because you don't want a nightmare situation that could have been prevented by a small annual fee.
Absolutely.
And if you could give homeowners one piece of advice when it comes to an insurance policy, what would that be?
That would be that homeowner's insurance does not cover wear and tear. So that's a big misconception. I think a lot of people think that if the roof gets really old, or the plumbing's really old, or the AC goes out, that stuff is covered under homeowner's insurance. It's not. So like your car, you do have to do general maintenance to your house. That's potentially having a roofer come out to inspect it every few years, not waiting like 20 years to have the plumbing looked at, and then just making sure everything's in working order, because there are claims if it is wear and tear and it's gone on for a long period of time, it is not covered by insurance. You don't want to find out you could have had something replaced for a few $1,000s, and now you're looking at way more than that to fix the damage to the house and repair what's not covered anyways.
And so what's the number one claim that you see the most?
Roof leaks. So we get, especially when it's rainy season, of course, and so we get a lot of people that, because roofs are so expensive to replace, we get a lot of people that have waited until the roof is just at its very end of its life, and then all of a sudden there's torrential downpour and the roof is leaking. Unfortunately, that's not covered because it is wear and tear. So not only are you dealing with potentially having to replace the roof, but now the damage that the water's caused from the actual roof leak. So it's really important. You can get people out there potentially to do an inspection, make sure the flashing around the chimney is up to par, that the roof's not missing any tiles or shingles, and then potentially have a roofer warranty the roof for a certain number of years, basically saying they believe it's in great condition and they don't see any specific areas of concern.
Got it. Okay, that's really good to know. And then one last question, if you had to give one major tip of advice for all homeowners out there, what would it be?
It would be to review your policies at least every other year. So much is changing within the insurance industry, and so we are getting new endorsements that people might not know about. Certain things might not be covered that were covered previously, and so it's really important that people have a really good understanding of their policy. For example, we have a new coverage, service line coverage. It covers your pipes out to the main. It covers it for wear and tear, erosion, decay, even root issues. Previously, that's something that wasn't covered by insurance companies, and those claims are usually $8,000 to $10,000 a year. That endorsement from company to company can be anywhere from $25 to $50 a year.
Wow.
So absolutely worth the investment, but a lot of people don't even know about it because they haven't talked to their insurance person in however many years. Most people haven't talked to them ever. So review your policies with your agent. It's the best piece of advice I can give anybody that owns a house.
Awesome. Well, this is super interesting and helpful. Hopefully you guys learned a bit about homeowners insurance from this video. And thank you so much for your time and being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Thanks.